The three systems of leadership: leading, learning, logistics. Go the extra mile, motivate, inspire. Go the extra mile, lead, empower. Principles take action. Let's go. Fuel your passion. Go the extra mile. Let's go. Principles take action. Motivate, inspire. Go the extra mile. Lead, empower.
Welcome back to the Empowered Educator Show. I'm your host, Dr. Mel. Today I have with me a guest. I have Phil Januszewski, and I hope I said that correctly. I practiced beforehand, but sometimes in the moment it doesn't come out just great. And I've got one of those last names that are kind of hard to say, and so I've been called everything, even Mrs. Vampire at one time. So from some of my kids, yeah. So welcome to the show, Phil.
Hey, thank you so much, Doc. Honored to be here and excited to dig in and help some humans out.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. So Phil is a nationally recognized keynote speaker who empowers the givers of the world to flourish personally so they can create greater impact professionally, all while avoiding burnout, boredom, and cynicism. And let me tell you, that burnout thing is a real thing. It's rough out there as an educator sometimes. So Phil, I'm not going to just read the whole bio. I'm going to let you tell us about yourself, because it's much more important to come from you than me just reading something, because it sounds way better coming from the person who we're talking about. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, I spent 20 years in education. I was a chemistry and physics teacher for 20 years. Absolutely loved it. Thrived throughout majority of my career, though just like many, I've had some ups and downs, some doldrums without wind in my sails, some moments of burnout. Went through COVID and the unique situation with online schooling. But regardless, after 20 years, I was still enjoying my job, excited about it. And I saw so many people that I loved and valued that were my mentors that were struggling. And I luckily got into positive psychology and started to realize that the reason I was able to thrive and enjoy my job had a lot to do with things that I was accidentally doing that were backed by positive psych. So things were tugging on my heartstrings, and I realized that I wanted to try to help educators not quit their jobs. So Mel, basically, I quit my job so that other teachers didn't have to. And though I know that sounds hypocritical, that's what I'm doing. I'm pouring into educators and public health workers across the country, trying to help them take their own personal power back so they can not only enjoy their life and job, but create even bigger impact. So that's what I think allowed us to have our paths crossed. And I'm excited to be here to dig into that.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think that you quit your job. God just took you in a little bit different direction. So he's very intentional in those things, I have found. And he saw that you had something that others needed, and that was the only way for you to get it out in the world. So you're not a job quitter. You're just doing something a little bit different in the same arena. And I commend you for that.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's everybody's here pulling their weight, trying to make the world of education work. It's so important, such a beautiful and worthy profession, but that doesn't mean it's not challenging or tough. We all know that.
Oh, yeah, it is absolutely challenging. And I found that some days are a little more challenging than others. And talking about that whole burnout thing, I think we go through ebbs and tides of burnout. You're great for a while, especially at the beginning of the school year. You're excited, everything's new, you're back in school, you got fresh kids, and you're just on fire. And then, just like your own kids, life takes over and those kids get comfortable, and you start having to deal with parents a little bit more. And we love our parents, we love that they are supportive, but it's hard when you have 20 or 40 parents who are seeking information or giving you their opinion on how you should be doing things. And it can take a toll. And so burnout is a real thing. So let's talk a little bit about that today.
Okay. Yeah. I think that, someone once said there was like death by paper cuts. It's all these little things over time that
Mhm.
slowly start to diminish you 100% and drain you. And what I like to say is that though this job will always be challenging, and no matter what job we have, no matter what profession, there are parts of our jobs that drain us. And that's why it's called work and not vacation. But part of the
Right.
human experience is that though things drain us, we can choose ways to recharge ourselves. So, what I love to do is not to dwell too much on the reality of that, yes, this job is draining at times. It will always be, no matter what systems we have in place, no matter how great we set up our classroom, still parts of our job will drain us. Humans are messy and complex, they
Mhm.
always will be. However, the way we show up, I think, is the really important part. How are we intentionally combating those drains? So, do we build a life that fills us up, where we not just 6 hours every day and clear the calendar and it's all about me and rebuilding myself, but genuinely, how are we sneaking in the little wins every hour of every day? Not just maybe before work or a little bit after, but every single hour of our day. How are we sneaking in the good stuff that fills us up? And I think a lot of times our egos and our brains get in the way of thinking, I need to make this huge shift to feel completely different. But often it's these little minor tweaks that can make a huge difference throughout our day. So, whether that be if you're a music listener like me, building in music into your daily routine so that it energizes you, whether that's you're an extrovert and you love connecting with people. Maybe during your lunch, instead of just eating your lunch and grading, you take 5 minutes and visit another coworker that inspires you. But being intentional and scheduling your day so that you're checking off and hitting things that fill you up, even in small amounts, can lead to, at the end of the day, having more wins than losses, which is a sustainable life. So it's a matter of these little moment choices that, if we plan ahead of
Mhm.
time, are more likely to happen to allow us to live a sustainable life.
Right. And you're kind of speaking systems to me a little bit too. That is one of the ways that I survive is my
Hmm.
systems, because that takes a lot of thinking out of your day. If you have these systems in place, and my systems and my routine start as soon as I get out of bed. I get up, I use the restroom, I go make my coffee, I have my devotional time with Jesus, I drink my coffee, I get myself centered, and that really centers me for the whole day. And then during the school year, right now it's summer, so we're not having our little huddle meetings of a morning, but as a leadership, I implemented having huddle every morning with my leadership team just to center ourselves on what our day is going to look like so we can be intentional. We talk about good things. We talk about things where we need some prayer or some support from each other in our personal lives or professional lives. And then we talk about those three big things during the day that we must accomplish for that day. And how does that affect the other people on the team? Because there's nothing worse than waiting for someone so you can move forward in your day and your work. And so thinking through those things and being more intentional, that helps with that burnout a little bit, or that cynicism, or even the animosity toward your coworkers that you might have, that gives you that moment where you're sitting at home getting ready to go to work, and you're like, I don't want to go today because I know so and so is going to hold me up. So if you're intentional about those things, starting out your day can help with that as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think two things. First of all, when we're thriving in our lives, we tend to be better at everything at work. And I'll come back to that. Another thing you mentioned that my mind kind of wandered to is that when you plan out your day with intention, your brain feels like it can expect certain things to happen. And though we all know that the world is completely out of our control,
Mm-hmm.
when we
Mm-hmm.
trick our brain into thinking we do have some sense of control, that also allows us to lower our stress level, make us feel more in control, which allows us to thrive more. We have more of an abundance mindset. We're open to more ideas. And if we're thriving and feel like we're in control, now we're better problem solvers. We're more patient with people. We all know that when we're on the verge of burnout, we assume the worst in people because that's just the way our brain works. As opposed to if I'm coming in fresh, I know what to expect for the day. And even though there's going to be some U-turns that will always come our way, that's just the world of education, life
Absolutely.
in general. Nothing will ever work out perfectly, and that's okay. But the more we feel that control, it's like we can roll with the punches better. And then when I have a coworker who makes a comment really quick because they're in a hurry, I don't take it as a snarky jab, but just a very direct answer because they're busy. I give that person the benefit of the doubt as the leader because I know, yep, they're busy, they're going, they answered my question. They saved the pleasantries because they're busy. It's no worries. This is nothing personal. It was just an interaction, and I'll catch up with them later actually to check on them because I'm have that mental real estate that says they didn't seem their normal self today. I'm going to help them crush their goals and hopefully check in to let them know I'm here for you if you need it, but I'm also going to give you space if you're super busy and just need to crush some stuff. And again, if we can show up in that mindset, man, other people rise with us because they feel that support too. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have found, and I don't remember which amazing educator, or even if it was an educator, but assume positive intent because you don't know what that person's walked through that morning. You don't know what they're dealing with in their personal life on a continual basis. You know, I know we have people here who have parents who have bad health, and it's an emotional drain on them. And some days they come in and you think, well, they're just mad at the world. That's not it at all. They've just got a lot that they're carrying. And there's a commercial, and I don't even remember what the commercial's for, but it shows a series of people who are irritated at people in front of them for whatever reason. But then it shows the other side of that person where they're like dealing with, oh, my wife just left me, or my parent, I just had to put them in the nursing home, or those kind of things. And we get irritated at people very easily because we think, oh, they just don't care, or man, they've got a chip on their shoulder today. And like you said, it is not personal. It is nothing to do with you, probably. And it is simply, you don't know what they're walking through. So even thinking that way, it really takes a lot of your stress away because you look at things in a more positive sense, and it lifts your spirits because then you do become that helper rather than that hindrance or that person that doesn't want to be around somebody, because then that makes you unapproachable as well.
Yeah, I love how you said that too. That bring up something I love to say. When we embrace the mess, we lower our stress. And I think that is specific, I mean, towards people. We're all coming in. What I love to do in a keynote is open up with what's your ice cream flavor right now? Are you feeling Rocky Road? Is it smooth vanilla right now? Is it Neapolitan? A little bit of everything, but whatever lens we're approaching life with, that's going to impact the way we interact with others and the way we interpret them. And as leaders, I think, and we're all leaders because we work with others, we influence those around us. Humans mirror what they feel and see. But when we can show up to a place where we can embrace the fact that life and people are messy, not take it personally, remind ourselves that, as you said, Doc, like, people are thinking about us way less than we think they are. They're all worried about themselves. So when we don't take it personally, we simply say, oh, that was just a quick comment that I don't need to read into, water under the bridge. Again, it's going to allow us to connect further with others that we serve. And again, they're going to feel that support as well without even realizing it. And they'll be able to thrive more too, just because we're embracing that mess. Yeah, things get messy. Let's talk it through, not get upset, and push forward to the greater goal, which luckily in education is a beautiful thing. There's always this beautiful greater goal that is so much more important than each of us individual. That's to raise the next future of leaders. What an amazing and scary goal to have, right? At the same time.
Right.
But when we keep our eye on that prize, you want to call it your why, whatever. It's like, all right, we've got bigger things to work on than our little tiff and cattiness that maybe accidentally came out. Let's push through. We're here for each other for something bigger than ourselves. That's a beautiful thing to be able to anchor ourselves with.
Right. And ultimately, we're here for the students.
Yeah.
No matter what our job is within the school district, it's all about the kids. And we sometimes, even as a teacher, we will get siloed in our own little world. And, we don't think about what everybody else is walking through that day as well. And I know that I've had some of my staff, they'll be like, well, I have asked for this one thing 5 or 6 or 7 times. Okay, I understand that. But do you realize that when you ask in a context where they probably had 10 other things in their head. And by the time they get back to their office where they can send that thing to you, they've had 15 other people talk to them and give them tidbits of information or ask for things. And they have all of these things because, again, going back to systems, we're not thinking, I need to create a system for asking for these things. That takes it off of their plate because then they don't have to remember just when they get back to their office because I've got that system set up for them. And now I can ask in this way, and then I know it's going to get done. So even thinking through those little things like that can be a tremendous help.
Oh yeah. Whenever we can lighten the mental load, that's incredible because we then can open our mind to the beautiful stuff, the problem solving and the connection of others, which pushes us forward. For even me, I have simple systems like I just have a little notes app on my phone that's a to-do list. So if I was talking to you, Doc, and I said, oh, I have to introduce you to a friend of mine, I'm going to forget in 5 minutes after a deep conversation with you, but I'm going to put it in my phone really quick. Dr. Mel, intro to blah, blah, blah. And you know what? I might see that a day or two later, but I go through that to-do list every day and I try to knock out as many as I can. And that way I don't forget because you're right. In the moment when people want to serve you, they want to support you, they mean it. They're genuine. But like you said, that doesn't mean that 15 other things didn't come right in front of them. And though it's nothing personal, they did forget, even though they wanted to genuinely help you. Can we set up a system or can we help our leaders or people that we need something from that are busy to send that email so there's a digital trail and to gently follow up in a professional way that I know you're busy, but I just wanted to remind you and put at the top of your inbox again. I would love to get that done when you're ready. Let me know if you want me to remind you again. And I've had many leaders that said, Phil, I want to do this in the next week. However, re-email to me in a week just in case I don't. I'm like, not a problem. We'll do it. Because we're working together, but that doesn't mean I'm the only priority in someone's life, especially if you're a leader of a building. You got hundreds of humans you're looking after in that. My little request might not be top priority compared to a lot of other things. And like you said, we can forget that sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. I was gone last week on a conference and I had this one email that just kept popping into my feed. And I did not have the capacity to even look at the whole thing or respond in a way that would be helpful. So I just didn't respond at all. I should have said, hey, I'll be right back with you. But also I had someone else tagged in there that was actually over that. They just are exiting my district now. So it was kind of one of those things that kind of fell through the gaps just a little bit. Who's going to be responsible for this? And so it didn't get answered. And this morning I felt terrible, but I went back in and I'm like, I'm just getting back. I'm just catching up. I will respond to you within a day or two. And that's all they needed to hear from me. And I wish I had said that last week rather than making them wait.
Yeah, I agree. And sometimes when I'm out, right, like that automatic email response is so helpful of like, hey, this is the situation. This is my goal to get back to you. But you're right. Sometimes people just want to know, did they receive my request or idea? Okay, they're working on it. I feel supported. It's so funny, right? We often don't need, we feel like as humans, oh, I have to if I'm going to give a response, it has to be perfect and right now. But often people just want to know, okay, they've received it and they are going to get back to me and think about it when they can. I feel valued and seen, right? We are needy creatures, Doc.
Oh my goodness. We definitely are. And educators are almost worse than anybody else because we want things right now.
Yes, we have high expectations. Probably abnormally high in a lot of areas, like efficiency we get obsessed with. So we expect other people to be just as efficient, but it's probably unnatural, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or they're just efficient in their own way, and it makes more sense in their context than ours.
Right. Messy people. Messy.
Exactly. You're not going to believe this, but we are getting close to time already.
Wow.
This has gone so quickly. So, talk to my audience about I call them power surge statements or
Yeah,
something that they can walk away with that's very tangible, whether it be an action step or something that they can think about and take with them throughout their day.
for sure. Here's an action step for you. Number one is if we want to thrive, we have to accept the fact that unfortunately no one's coming to save us tomorrow. Systems are too big for immediate support. However, we can make choices that alter our lives in a dramatically positive way. So my suggestion is to remind yourself, what are the things you love personally, and how are you going to sneak a couple of them in at work tomorrow for just a few minutes? Do you love playing guitar? Then buy a cheap guitar and have it in your
Mhm.
office and play it a little bit for someone and get weird and funny with it. Do you love to create food and cook and bake? I do. Maybe this week you need to make a batch of your best cookies and bring them to someone you appreciate at work. Do you love music? Every hour at the top of the hour, I want you to play one song you love and take a moment for yourself. 2, 3 minutes every hour is doable at every hour. And if
Mhm.
we sneak in those little moments of things we love, even if they have nothing to do with work, they're going to power us up enough to alter the draining parts of our job. And as we said earlier, Doc, if you can put your head down at night with a few more wins than depletions, that is a sustainable life, and we can get our heads above water. So embrace that mess a
Yeah.
little bit, lower your stress, and build in a couple little fun things, and you'd be surprised at what a difference it makes.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that I do, and this is just for my personal because I feel so bad at the end of the day if I don't, is I try to get up early and take a walk. Even if I don't get 10,000 steps during the day, if I've gone around the lake a couple of times and I've gotten closer to my 10,000 steps, I feel better, not just physically, but also mentally, because then I'm not sitting there all day thinking about how I didn't get my 10,000 steps in or I'm not going to get them in. And it releases some of that energy. I'm very high energy. I'm
Mhm.
ADHD big time. And so that just kind of helps like get that out for me. So it can be anything for you. Like you said, pick something, baking or whatever. And I like that you said, do it every hour or two. Just do something to step away. Even here on campus, I will occasionally, if my brain is just overloaded and I'm just getting a little bit frustrated, I will just go take a walk around the campus just to get away from everybody, clear my head, get those steps in, get that energy out, even here on campus. So,
Yeah, and I think if you build in that routine to the point where every hour you do take a little lap or something, even though that might break up your workflow, the goal would be that when you're doing it, you never then throughout the day reach that point where you're like, all right, I can't do this anymore. I have to get up, as opposed to, ooh, this is my time. I get to do a quick lap or say hi to someone. And we'd be surprised at how less we hit that moment of, I just can't do this anymore. I have to step away because we're refueling ourselves. And
yeah.
again, we think it's got to be grandiose, but these little tiny wins add up to huge shifts and change in energy.
Yeah, exactly. And you can play music on Spotify throughout the day and just have it,
Right.
take a break, sing a song, get some coffee, get something to drink, any
100.
of those little things. Great, great information. I love it. And I hear that you have a book coming out. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm so excited. Thanks for asking. November 1st, the book is going to come out. Pre-sale start October 1st. The book's called Too Damn Happy, Flourishing in a Tired and Uninspired World. And super excited about helping adult givers like educators do just some of the things that we've just been talking about. There's these little shifts in perspective and action and intention that can create a huge shift in our life. Like if an asteroid was coming to planet Earth and we just landed a little spacecraft on it and hit a little rocket to push it off track just a little bit, after millions of miles, that trajectory completely changes. That's what we do with our life. Little shifts alter the course of our lives in a positive way. So I'm excited to do that too. It's like an extension of my keynote speaking
Right?
to support others to just thrive more so that we can do what we're meant to do, which is give back to the world, enjoy it, you know?
Exactly. And that is wonderful. Congratulations on that. Is this your first book?
Thank you. It is. I never would have thought in a million years that I was going to become an author, but felt called to, and I'm excited that it's coming up.
Very good. Very good. Is there a place where we can pre-order?
Yeah, it'll be on Amazon pre-order starting October 1st. So I will be messaging everybody and every single human I know to get on that.
All right. So if they want to pre-order, I mean, because this episode is going to come out long before October 1st.
Right.
So if they want to contact you, so when the book does come out, they can either pre-order or they can order when it's time. How can they connect with you?
Yeah, thank you so much. If you guys Google search my name, just Phil Januszewski, you'll find my website, philjanuszewski.com. All my socials are at Phil Januszewski. But if you just shoot me an email, I can put you on the list to contact when the book is up for pre-sale. And I'll be setting up a sign-up sheet soon for that too. So people feel free to email or reach out, and I'll put you on that list. I appreciate the support.
Excellent. And we're super excited for you about that. I've had a couple books and they're self-published, but still yet it's exciting when you get to do that. So wonderful, wonderful. And for the rest of you, and you know that I will have all of his information in the show notes, so you won't have any problem connecting with him. Thank you again, Phil. It has been a pleasure to have you on the show.
I appreciate it. Appreciate your good energy, and thanks for supporting leaders in education. So important, and we need them. Everybody's help. So grateful.
And that's funny. I was going to tell you the exact same thing. I love your energy. So great minds think alike. Definitely. Thank you for joining us today, and I will see you back here next time. Bye-bye.
Principles take action.